Hey everyone, really sorry I didn't have a video last week. I had a really bad week. It was terrible. I was kidnapped by a group of mimes. They did unspeakable things to me. Hey kids, Adam here. Today we are going to talk about how to get a giant wall of background vocals. So if you have a song you want to have just like this huge chorus of background vocals, you want like a giant wall of sound, and you want it in the background vocals. I've done this on one song in particular, Breakaway by my band Underground Hive. I'll put a card up there for it. And let's just head over to Reaper and I'll show you what I did and how I got all this to work together and to make this wall of background vocals. All right, here we are in Reaper, and the first thing you'll notice is there is a whole bunch of vocals in this track. 40, including all the folders. We have two main vocals. Ray is singing lead on this song. He did a lead and then he did a double, which is just the same performance. Duck it a little bit lower in volume than the lead, and the two of them work together. Kind of sounds like this.
You are so beautiful. Can't keep my eyes off of you.
So it gives it that kind of stereo-ish effect. We put those right down the middle. Then there are a number of Ray little background vocals here and there. There's a bridge with some background vocals in it there. And then we get to the what I call the wall of background vocals. Let me just play this for you before we even get anywhere. And I'll play it with Ray's lead.
I want you to stay, yeah. Break away, yeah.
Let me play it with the band.
Don't know what I'm gonna do. I want you to stay.
So there we have it, a giant wall of background vocals. Let's dig into some of the tracks and I'll show you what I did here. So there's a couple videos that I have on EQing and processing vocals, including the vocal air trick. I'll put a playlist to all my vocal mixing up here. I use this song and Ray's lead in particular to go over that, especially that vocal air trick, just to get that to kind of loft above everything. For the background vocals, there are some tricks you can do with plugins and things like that. The best, but like a doubling and other things. But I'm telling you, the best way to do this, have people sing multiple parts and have them sing it multiple times. So let's say you do a 3-part harmony. You have your lead, which we already have doubled, and then you want like a second and a third. Have the person singing the second. Now, in this case, Ray did some and Dylan did some. Have the person singing the second sing it 3 times. Once you pan hard left, the other you pan up the middle, the third you pan hard right. And it gives you this just giant spectrum. And then you have them, the person doing the third, do the same thing. If you want to take it an extra step, have them switch microphones between at least one of the takes. Let's go through each of these, and I'll just kind of play each of them one at a time. So what I wanted for Ray's is I have the 2 channels for lead up the middle. I wanted to do a standard like background vocal up the middle. So that's what these first 2 are.
Stay, yeah. Break away, yeah.
Second one.
Stay, yeah. Break away, yeah.
So then what I wanted to do is, because Ray already has now 4 tracks up the middle, I wanted to give some separation. I want to give Ray some left and right.
I want you to stay, yeah. Break away, yeah.
Don't worry about the tuning. I'm going to get to that in just a second. And Ray's second harmony, left and right.
I want you to stay, yeah. Break away.
So we have Ray 4 tracks up the middle, 2 tracks on the left, 2 tracks on the right, and all of Ray's, see if I can do this here, along with the leads here, sound like this.
I want you to stay, yeah. Break away, yeah.
really good blend, but I wanted another voice in there. I wanted to, and really we're making it like an actual chorus. So I had Dylan do 3 takes of 2 harmonies. So his first is left, right, and center is kind of a higher one.
I want you to stay, break away.
Kind of has the little munchkin sound going on. And then I have his last, there's actually 2 up the center and then 1 on the left and 1 on the right, just for a little more power.
I want you to stay, break away.
And then all of those together, just the background vocals without the leads.
I want you to stay, break away.
So before we go into how I process this, you'll notice that the parts aren't 100% lined up and they aren't 100% in tune. We didn't go out and said, hey, guys, sing this out of tune. What we did is say, hey, just sing this normally. I'm not going to fix it in post. So I did retune in a couple areas here and there when notes are really off, but for the most part, I left everything the same. And what you get is you get that more natural chorus of people sounding. If I tune it too much and too perfectly and I line them up too perfectly, you're going to almost get it where instead of a doubled vocal, it almost sounds like the same vocal in almost like a weird phased effect. But we have all these tracks that are doing all these background vocals, and the fact that they're a little bit off and a little bit not lined up perfectly, it just makes it sound that much bigger. There is a fine art to level matching, and not level matching, but kind of volume matching all of these vocals. So if you listen, it's not no one vocal doesn't really stick out here. They all kind of blend in.
I want you to stay,
And if I take one of these, let's take one of the ones that go up the middle. I'm going to take the volume way up, kind of an exaggerated thing, and you can tell how much this sticks out.
I want you to stay, break away.
Let's do another one, one of Dylan's, and I'll take this again way up, and it's going to just sound horrible, out of place.
I want you to stay, break away.
So when you're going through volume matching these things, I would probably start at Unity for all of them, and in solo, on their own, don't worry about the rest of the band or anything, just get them volume matched to themselves. And you're going to find that as soon as you bring it in, certain ones are going to be just way out of character, other ones are going to be way too low, and you just need to work on them and constantly play with them. But you have to kind of key in and make sure that they're all kind of like a chorus. So in a standard chorus, you really can't hear one person over another person. They all blend together and work very well together, and those voices blend. That's what you're looking to achieve here. Let's get into processing these. What I wanted to do is get as much on the main channel, and this is this folder channel in yellow here, as possible. What I found out is that I needed to compress these a little bit different because everyone is recording at their own studios, and actually Dylan recorded at 2 different locations, and the inputs weren't all the same. So even after gain staging, I found that I needed to do a little bit more on the compression. So if we look at these plugins on the main, a real quick EQ, I did a high pass filter at 150 because I don't need any of those. There's no real bassy parts in here. I don't need any of those low frequencies in there. I did 2 cuts, one a little bit over 300 hertz, and that's 3 dB cut, and then one at 400 hertz and another 3 dB cut. And then I did a high shelf at about 6K of just 1 dB just to bring out a little bit of the air. And then, of course, where would we be without Kramer tape? I just standard preset, or standard, full reset. I turned the noise all the way down, and I brought the record level to the point where it's hitting just about.
I want you to stay.
-7, -5. I didn't want to overdo it because I didn't want to round this off too much. I wanted some of the transients to still stick out. So that's what I did on the main folder. On each track itself, I did an instance of RVox, and I hit it pretty hard.
Stay,
So I'm almost hitting up 10 to 12 dB gain reduction. And RVox is great because it's like one thing. I did lower the gain a little bit to output match. And then I am using Sibilance for some de-essing. Just do this one track before and after. So this is with de-essing on. And then with off. And you can hear this is really, and I don't know, I have some de-essing on my voice here. I don't know if that'll come through. It's really kind of harsh. And I did that again. I did that on every channel. I did copy and paste it over, but then I fine-tune on every channel to make sure that it was lined up. For effects, I put it through my standard room reverb. I'm pretty hot, about -5 dB, and let's do it before and after reverb. So this is with no reverb.
I want you to say yeah.
Very, very dry, and the reverb just opens it up.
I want you to say yeah.
And the other thing I did was I added it to my exciter, which is using the what's it called? The Aphex Vintage Exciter by Waves. What that does is it adds harmonic frequencies in without adding actual EQ. I'll do this before and after.
I want you to say yeah. I want you to say yeah.
Just kind of adds a little more oomph to it. Makes it stand out a little bit. There's two other places that I'm doing background vocals like this, and one is right after this part, and it's a kind of a call and answer thing.
Come on, won't you stay?
What I did here is I did the same things. This is actually racing and all these three. I put them right up the middle because I didn't really want to mess around with it. But then Dylan did a left and a right channel. What I did there is I did the same EQ. I only did one cut at, let's bring this in. I only did one cut at like 300 hertz here, but I did the low pass or the high pass and the high boost. And then Kramer tape, same setting. And then what I did is I wanted this telephone vocal effect, and I'll put a card up here to really how to do it. This is essentially just using ReaEQ, a low pass, a high pass, and a mid boost around 2200 of 4 dB. And I'll do this with before and after the telephone vocal.
Come on, won't you stay?
That works. I just wanted a little bit different effect.
Come on, won't you stay?
So let's play both of those. And then I added it through my long reverb, my long delay, but I really kind of a low, and that's more of a quarter note delay, and then the exciter as well. Let's play the whole band coming into this part, and you can hear that, and the call and answer.
Don't know what I'm gonna do. I want you to stay. Yeah. Break away. Yeah. I want you to stay. Yeah. Come on, won't you stay? Because
All right, so that is how you can mix and obtain a wall of vocals. It's really probably 90% in the recording process. And like I said, you want to introduce as many variables as you can. So you want to have multiple people singing, multiple microphones, so you get a little bit of different tonal sounds, multiple harmonies, of course, and make multiple takes of everything. Ideally, you would want every harmony to be 3 takes. So you could do one up the middle, one left, and one right. But then experiment with things like here. I didn't follow that strictly because I had Ray already doing some stuff at the middle, and Dylan thought at one point he wanted more up the middle versus the sides. It just kind of all works out. It's a experiment. Have fun with it. If you like videos like this, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell, do hickam-a-jigger thingamabobber, and have an amazing week. Until next time. Let's head over to Reaper, and I'm going to show you what, no, let's not do that. In this way, we have 20 tracks or From 67 to 80, that's math, that's hard. We're not covering that on this channel. So go somewhere else, some smart person's channel to cover math.